Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Friday, May 5. This is episode 17 now. Here at St. Types, coming up to 6 minutes to 11 o'clock on Friday morning. And just to give you a bit of history of where I was last year before before we get on to today's show. This time last year I was in Queensland. Now, I won't bore you with Queensland because I'm not up there anymore, but that's where I was. But moving off Queensland now and on to today's show, and this is episode 17 here. And today we've been practicing our songs right all around, and we've also listened to a couple. Now, when we last met with you, Amanda and I, we talked about the copyright and how important it is to be responsible when you are making an album. And joining me now in the studio to discuss this on episode 17 is good morning to Amanda. Welcome to episode 17 today.
Good morning, Barry. Good morning, all the viewers. Beautiful Friday today. I'm excited for the show.
Well, the importance of writing songs, okay? Know what you're doing, listen to the words, listen to the whole song. Don't just go and steal someone else's work, because as we said last time, you could be taken to court. Here's Amanda now for her opening sequence on this important rule.
Good. It's always important to respect the copyrights. You have to give the credit to the people that created the song. And when you're using it, you have to make good use of it. You want to know your words properly. You want to know what you're doing.
So don't just play the piano and talk BS, like I'm saying it in this way, because if you don't know what you're doing, then you're wasting your time. Here's Amanda now.
That's right. It's really important to get prepared and organized.
So, make sure you've got your sheet music, your voice warmed up, and make sure that you practice. It doesn't matter whether you're in the park, at home, at the beach, anywhere. Here's Amanda now.
As I was saying, it's really important to practice. Don't rush things. Wait until you feel confident enough to move to the next step.
Now, the importance of making the album. Make sure that you have an appropriate photo for the album, the appropriate attire, such as a nice shirt, some trousers, nice shoes, etc. Here's Amanda.
Yeah, you got to think of how you want to present yourself as an artist. That's lots of details when you're putting an album together, and we try to think of everything.
Okay, make sure you read the copyright first before you go with someone else's work, because like we said last time, music lovers out there and album makers and things like that, you just can't go and steal someone's work without even them people knowing. Because if you're gonna make the song, guys, make sure you read the copyright, look up on what the policy is and all of that. Here's Amanda now.
Yes, we have a full video on copywriting. So if you still have some questions, still not too sure how it works, go back a few episodes and watch again the video about copywriting.
Because what's the point of making the album if you don't know what you're doing? Because if you go ahead and make the album, guys, and the artist doesn't know about it, you could be sued for this. Here's Amanda now.
That's right, you could be sued for stealing someone's work. You don't want to get in any trouble, so you do everything by the book.
And another thing we talked about on the show last time is, if you're making a debut album, guys, make sure that you don't put too many songs on there. Here's Amanda.
As 5 is a good number to aim to, because you don't want the debut album to be too long. You want to do the 5 songs really well, so you keep it short and you do it properly.
And another thing we're going to talk about today on the show is selling your album the right way. Okay, we will get onto that in a moment. But making an album, okay, it may be awesome that you're wanting to do it, but guys, there are protocols to this. Okay, if you're gonna practice singing the songs, make sure you set aside some time in the day, like you may need hours and hours to practice. Here's Amanda now.
That's right, as I said before, you need to feel as confident as possible, so it's really important to practice.
So, if you're gonna start practicing at 5 o'clock in the morning, make sure you don't wake the whole house up. Please don't do that. Here's Amanda.
It's important to set a time and a place where you're not going to get interrupted. It's important to give time for your voice to warm up. So you need to think of all these details so the rehearsal goes well.
Okay, because if you start rehearsing and you don't know what you're doing, then you're wasting your time. Here's Amanda now.
Yeah, the more you rehearse, the better you get. So even if it doesn't turn out perfectly and you feel a bit lost, keep rehearsing, keep trying, reach out for help, because yeah, you gotta feel confident.
So we're gonna take a break now and then come back and we'll talk more about this. So stay tuned. Good morning and welcome back. This is a continuation of episode 17 now. Barry's here with you at 10 to 12 with Amanda here. Before the break, we were talking about copywriting and responsibility. Now, we're going to recap on this because we feel it's a very important topic. As I am making an album, okay, I've got to be responsible for my actions and make sure that I'm not going with someone else's work because I don't want to be taken to court. So music lovers, music makers out there and musicians, be very careful. Here's Amanda now. Good morning again. Welcome back to the second part of our show today for this Friday, the 5th of May.
Okay, thank you for welcoming me back. Hello again, everyone. So as Barry was saying, he's working on an album and it's been a steep learning curve. We've been learning a lot of things and copyright is probably the major thing. Barry is very into doing the things correctly. So we digged into copywriting a lot. We want to do the things the right way. We want the artists that created those songs to feel valued and to know that when we use their work, we ask for permission. Back to you, Barry.
So don't just go and steal someone's work because like we said before in the first half of the video, part of the show today, please don't be stupid and think you can do whatever you like to whom you like and steal their work because it's the same with mine. If someone stole my material, I'd be very angry. Here's Amanda now.
That's right, we don't want to get in trouble. We don't steal things from anyone, so it would not be different with music. If you want to record your own album and use music that already exists, you need to look into copywriting.
And it's the same with my stuff too. If I make the stuff, if you want to watch my stuff and get copies of my stuff, you have to ask permission from me first. Here's Amanda.
That's right, copyright is a hot topic.
So don't be a fool and think you're not going to get in trouble. Because if you do the wrong thing, guys, all the hard work has gone down the drain, and then you have no one to blame but yourself. Here's Amanda now.
That's right, it's a lot of work to put an album together. It's not fair to just steal up the songs. And yeah, we've been working hard on this album. Barry, do you want to share with the viewers what else you've been doing? You've been practicing your songs, what else?
Well, I've been practicing my song and all of that. So, please, guys, if you want to make an album, by all means, go for it. But be very careful, guys, because look up on your computer about the copyrights, bring up the radio stations and get guidelines from them as well. Okay, don't just steal people's work and go, here's Amanda now.
Yes, that's right. Copywriting is very important. You want to do the right thing. So if you want to use some work, it can be songs, can be videos, can be anything that's already there. You need to look into copywriting.
Okay, because this is very important, guys, because it's the same with television shows too. If you want to make documentaries, make sure you ask permission from the person first before you do that, because they may have already made a documentary. Here's a man and now.
That's right, copyright cover lots of different things. It's always good to know. We have Google at our hands. You can answer us any questions. So if you are working on a project similar to what Barry is working at the moment, make sure you Google copyrights and do things correctly.
And also, allow yourself enough time to record your album, practice, set aside some time so you've got enough time throughout the day or night, because remember guys, you need a lot of time to practice during the day or night without any interruptions. Here's Amanda now.
That's right, it's important to get yourself prepared, set up some time or a day of the week that is easier for you, that's a bit more flexible, and just focus on the work during this time.
And make sure you find a nice quiet room, guys, so that you have plenty of time to sing and practice, and allow yourself enough time to have a break. Here's Amanda now.
That's right, you gotta make sure you do everything in a timely manner. There is a lot of planning involved and you don't want to get lost in it.
Okay, so if you're thinking of starting your process outside, check the weather before you do it, guys. Here's Amanda.
Yes, we are in autumn now. The temperatures are starting to get a bit lower. The wind is picking up, so if you're planning to do any sessions outside, you got to be weather prepared.
Okay, because the most important thing, guys, is that you must be a responsible musician. Don't just assume that you can do it all in 24 hours. Allow yourself enough time, like 6 months. Okay, work out where you're going to start your project and end it. Because like with musicians, guys, they go all over the place, like Melbourne, Brisbane, Adelaide, Tasmania, Perth, the Northern Territory, you name it. Here's Amanda.
That's right, it is a big project. You need time, you need to allow yourself enough time. Barry was saying a 6-month window, that is a good time frame. You have enough time to rehearse, to contact the people that you need to, like radio stations, the studios, and get support from these people. You cannot ask for help from one week to another. They have their own schedules, so 6 months is like a minimum to have this project ready.
And make sure that you consider other people as well, because it's not just you wanting to make the album as well, because whoever may be helping you during that time may be sick or gone on holidays or got COVID or resigned, pulled out of the project. So guys, there are a lot of logistics you have to look at, okay, and work out what you're gonna name your album, like I did, okay. Don't just come up with something that people might not understand, or use large words or phrases that people might not understand. Here's Amanda.
That's right, you need to think of your target of the public. Make sure it's something that is understandable, that is accessible, that it is of good manners. You don't want to be rude on your title. Because, as I said, there's a lot of details to think about.
So, the last thing we're going to talk about today is selling your CDs correctly. Now, don't just say to the person it's $20 when really it's $5, because you're ripping them off. Here's my outsider.
That's right, you got to think of a fair price, a price that values the work of the artist and is also accessible to the public.
And make sure that if you're gonna sell your album outside a shopping center, guys, okay, make sure you bring up or write a letter to tell them what's going on. Don't just turn up and say, here, I've got my CDs, because that is not the way to do a project. Here's my outsider.
Yeah, that's very right, Barry. You got to think of all the details. You got to see who can help you. It's all very important. It's definitely a big project.
And like I did this morning before we came on air, okay, I spoke to the manager about promoting the album Care, and I gave permission, so work out a day and time and a suitable venue so you can set up your store. Okay, make sure you know how to set up a store and a cash register like a till. Make sure you've got enough notes and coins to give the customers for when they come to buy your album. Here's Amanda now.
That's right. It's a lot to think about. On the release date, we also is a whole event to plan. Barry was saying we need to think of change. You need to have an appropriate venue that is big enough for the people we're inviting. We need to think of food and drinks, if we're going to offer something to them or not, how long the event is going to be. So that's still to come. That's another exciting part of this project.
So be really responsible, guys, and don't rip people off, okay? Because if you're going to sell your CDs, guys, be careful. And be careful about how you promote yourself too. Give permission if you're going to mention a company name, okay? Such as Cerebral Palsy Alliance. Because there are guidelines that you have to follow, guys. Here's Amanda now.
That's true. That goes along with the copywriting. A brand, as in a company name, is also protected by copywriting. So whenever we want to mention any brand, any company, any piece of art, as in music or video, it takes us back to copywriting. We can do it, but we have to do it right.
Because if you're caught doing the wrong thing, guys, again, you can be in trouble for it. You may be banned from promoting yourself in the future, okay? And you may have to think twice about why you did the wrong thing. So guys, it's always safe to ask permission, do the right thing, okay? Do it right, okay? Because again, you don't want to get kicked up the backside for doing the wrong thing. Here's Amanda now.
That's right. I think this is clear. All your viewers are very tuned into copywriting now, and I'm sure they know what to do.
Okay, and make sure that if you're writing a song, guys, which brings us into the closing sequence of our show. Don't use offensive language like swear words, and if people are going to swear in your music, in your song, put a warning sign on the CD saying this CD contains language which some people may find offensive. Here's Amanda now.
That's right. It's important to have good communication with your audience. So if you happen to have any slangs or dirty words in the song, this warning is vital.
So please be very careful, guys, when you are doing these things, okay? Don't go beep and beep and beep. You know why I did that? So I don't swear on the show. Here's Amanda.
That's right. Barry's got really good manners. He would never swear on the show.
Okay, so, because some people may ring up and complain, and they may want their money back from your purchase. Here's Amanda.
Yeah, that's right. But if you have a clear communication and there is a warning there, then people know what they're buying.
So make sure you are very careful when doing a project like this. Here's Amanda now.
That's right. It's a big project. It takes a lot of planning. You will need some people to help you. And you can always refer back to Barry's videos for some hot tips.
So, to take us out today and to conclude the show, please be very careful, be mindful, because if your song is played on the radio and it's got offensive language, well, the listeners either at the work site or in the car or taxi, they can turn it off. Here's Amanda now.
That's right. All important information. Thank you, Barry.
Because you don't want the listeners ringing up the radio stations or the television stations lodging a complaint, because they may not want to listen to your CD again because you've used offensive language in it while making it. So guys, please, for goodness sake, think. Know what you are doing. Don't assume you can do everything in 24 hours. Be very mindful of other people. Here's Amanda now for her closing sequence on this, and the importance of not ringing 000, which we'll finish up with today. Okay, 000 is not a chit-chat line. They're there for emergencies. Here's Amanda now to close episode 17 with those two messages.
Right, so at the end of episode 17, I want to thank everyone for staying tuned with us. Remind that when making an album, it is a massive project. Do all your planning. Try and refer from using offensive language. I think that's the best way to go. If not, make sure you communicate with your listeners. And last but not least, save 000 for emergencies only. That's vital.
So don't just ring them up and say you need your lunch delivered, because they are not there for stupid jobs like that. So on that note, guys, You have a great weekend, and we'll see you for episode 18 next time around. But until Amanda and I see you again for the next episode, it's bye from us. It's 7 minutes after 12 o'clock now. Have a great weekend, guys, and you take care. This has been Barry, Claire, and Amanda. Have a great weekend, everybody. You take care, and thanks for your company on episode 17 today. And have a great weekend, and bye-bye.